Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to The Last Ego on Earth. My name is James Scott Shoemaker, and today we are finally getting back into the lessons. Over the past couple, I think it was over the last month or so, I haven't done a lesson. I had some interviews, I've been writing a book, I've been having some one-on-one sessions, and it's kind of gotten away from me. I also don't want these lessons to become dogmatic, where it's kind of plastic and I'm just reading. So I want to come from a place of spirit and love, and make sure that we're connecting on that level. So I'm really excited to get into this one, guys. If you'll get your blue book out here from the Foundation of Inner Peace, we are on lesson 44, page 69. God is the light in which I see. All right, guys, as I've said before, I'm just going to read through this. I might stop throughout it if I'm inspired to give you guys my interpretation of what's being said. Also, I am here to be your brother, your buddy, your guide, and we're just going to walk right together with this and get it together so that our minds are joined and we can walk home together. All right, guys, here we go. God is in the light. God is the light in which I see. Today, we are continuing the idea for yesterday, adding another dimension to it. You cannot see in darkness, and you cannot make light. You can make darkness and then think you see in it, but light reflects life, and if therefore an aspect of creation. Creation and darkness cannot coexist, but light and life must go together, being but different aspects of creation. In order to see, you must recognize that the light is within, not without. You do not see yourself, nor is the equipment for seeing outside you. An essential part of this equipment is the light that makes seeing possible. It is in you always, making vision possible in every circumstance. Today we're going to attempt to reach the light. For this purpose, we will use a form of exercise which has been suggested before, and which we will utilize increasingly. It is a particularly difficult form for the undisciplined mind, and represents a major goal of mind training. It requires precisely what the untrained mind lacks. Yet this training must be accomplished if you are to see. Have at least 3 practice periods today, each lasting 3 to 5 minutes. A longer time is highly recommended, but only if you find the time slipping by with little or no sense of strain. Excuse me. The form of practice we will use today is the most natural and easy one in the world for a trained mind, just as it seems to be the most unnatural and difficult for the untrained mind. Your mind is no longer wholly untrained. You are quite ready to learn the form of exercise we are to use today, but you may find that you will encounter strong resistance. The reason is very simple. While you practice in this way, you leave behind everything that you now believe and all the thoughts that you have made up. Properly speaking, this is the release from hell. Yet perceived through the ego's eyes, it is a loss of identity and a descent into hell. If you can stand aside from the ego by ever so little, you will have no difficulty in recognizing that its opposition and its fears are meaningless. You might find it helpful to remind yourself from time to time that to reach light is to escape from darkness, whatever you may believe to the contrary. God is the light in which you see. You are attempting to reach Him. Begin the practice period by repeating today's idea with your eyes open, and then close them slowly, repeating the idea several times more. Then try to sink into your mind, letting go of every kind of interference and intrusion by quietly sinking past them. Your mind cannot be stopped in this unless you choose to stop it. It is merely taking its natural course. Try to observe your passing thoughts without involvement and slip quietly by them. While no particular approach is advocated from this form of exercise, what is needful is a sense of importance of what you are doing, its inestimate value to you, and an awareness that you are attempting something very holy. Salvation, your happiest accomplishment. It is also the only one that has any meaning, because it's the only one that has any real use to you at all. If resistance rises in any form, pause long enough to repeat today's idea, keeping your eyes closed unless you are aware of fear. In that case, you will probably find it more reassuring to open your eyes briefly. Try, however, to return to the exercises with eyes closed as soon as possible. If you're doing the exercises correctly, you should experience some sense of relaxation and even a feeling that you are approaching, if not actually entering into light. Try to think of that light formless and without limit as you pass by the thoughts of this world. And do not forget that they cannot hold you to this world unless you give them power to do so. Throughout the day, repeat the idea often with eyes open or closed as seems better for you at the time. But do not forget, above all, be determined not to forget today. All right, guys, there we go. Lesson 44, God is the light in which we see, or which I see. And remember, guys, love and light are interchangeable. God is the light in which I see. And when we're talking about seeing, we're not talking about the physical eyes. I mean, that could, of course, be a part of it, but we're talking about our spiritual eyes. No matter what the outside world is showing us, if there's upset or separation or something that you see on the news that upsets you, or they did that and they did this and they did that, if we're looking upon it with our eyes and we're going with the ego, we get wrapped up in that and we get kind of caught in the web of the ego, and then we start separating. So seeing through God's eyes, or seeing through Holy Spirit's eyes, we are seeing with our spiritual eyes. And no matter what someone's saying, no matter what the politician's saying, no matter what the upset person on the street that's shaking their fist at you, those things we can look upon and see them for what they really are, which they are truly love also. We're love, they're love. They have just put on a persona, or the ego. It's like a mask or a costume that we need to look past and see through that mask and see to the love that they are underneath that, just like we are. And that's what's going to undo the whole, the separated dream. So God is the light in which I see. So I'm going to see everything in love throughout the day. The next day I'm going to wake up, something might harm me or seeming to harm me, or I get upset with a family member, or whatnot, or even with myself. The ego likes to beat up itself. Like, oh man, I don't look good enough, or oh man, I said the wrong thing to this person. All these things that the ego tries to trick us into falling out of love. So we be kind with ourselves. We be kind and patient as Holy Spirit is with us. When we do make those mistakes, we step out of ourselves, become the observer to the situation. Even if we catch it later on in the afternoon or that evening, maybe even the next day, even if it's next week, next month, it doesn't really matter. As long as we catch it, we're like, that's not what I said there, wasn't from love. So now I'm going to let that go. And it's really releasing it over to Holy Spirit. Of course, when we're seeing with the light, God is the light in which I see. I'm seeing with light, I'm seeing with love, and I'm going to overlook any of the separated thoughts. And when we overlook them, they disappear. And then we're only seeing love. And, no matter what that person in front of us is doing, we do not have to have judgments upon them. I mean, Jesus says over and over, I know we're only on lesson 44, and you also have to read some of the text, but we're not even supposed to have any judgments whatsoever. Judgments is separation. Even Holy Spirit and Jesus do not judge us. They just overlook the mistakes. And that is what sin per se is just a mistake. And it's not really happening, because in reality, we are still at home and only in love. All right, guys, I don't want to go too far with this, because the next few next few lessons are going to really start getting into this. But just remember throughout the day, God is the light in which I see. And that tremendously has helped me remember to always come from a place of love. Even if if you want to write love on your hand and just every now and then look down, so that you can remember if something's upsetting you, to come from that place instead of where the ego wants you to go. And of course, that's just to curse and cuss and get upset with someone or yourself. So you're in that state of mind, you're in the wrong mind. Let's go back to the light that we're supposed to see with. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you guys on the next lesson 45. God is the mind with which I think. Oh, that's a good one. All right, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Peace be with you. I love you, and I will see you guys on the other side. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.